Petra, a city carved into the desert. 2,000 years ago, 20,000 people lived here. There was only rock, yet this city survived. Petra was once the heart of the world. Cinnamon, myrrh, silk, everything passed through here. Gold, spices, caravans. But one day, something else passed through this city. Something that could not be bought, could not be measured, yet was worth more than all of it. We do not know that man's name, but we know what he spoke of. He was telling the story of a risen man, and what he said silenced even the hardest men in Petra. Petra's gods were carved from stone. They had eyes, but did not see. And people realized stone could not be stronger than itself. But the man they heard of was different. Weeks passed. The group grew. 10, then 20, then more. Everyone who came changed. Something inside them changed, like water found within the rock. Wadi Musa, the same rock, the same water. Once Moses brought water from the rock. Now another ritual takes place in that water. It once saved the body. Now it touches the soul. 363 AD, the earthquake came. Petra's water system collapsed. The channels that once kept the city alive now lay in ruins, and the city began to empty. The earthquake destroyed the temples, but it did not break the small community, because they stood not on stone, but on faith. And faith remains even when everything shakes. By 400 AD, the temples had become churches, the same stones, the same columns, but now there was another name, Jesus. And that name reached the hearts of the people. We do not know this woman's name, but we know what she left behind. She set those stones for the ones who would come after her, and 1,500 years later, the church was filled with light. The mosaics were glowing, and at the center of those stones, there was hope. This man spent his life with stone. He shaped it with his hands, but now he kneels, because everything made of stone can fall. But what he found in this place cannot. In 1993, a church was found in Petra. Inside were 1,500-year-old papyri, burned, but still readable. And at the end, the same words, by the grace of God. That night, incense filled the church, but the scent no longer rose to pagan gods, but to someone else, and that scent was written into the stone. Some things do not leave stone. Jesus said, "On this rock I will build my church." In Petra, everything is rock, and here those words echo differently. This family had made the rock their home. Inside the same stone where other voices once rose, another name was now being spoken. But the story of this land began long before Christianity. Petra did not become a place of such power by accident. The Nabataeans were nomads. The desert was their home. And in the desert, life depended on one thing, water. There were no wells, no rivers, only rock. And the Nabataeans watched the rain. They learned where every drop was going. Then they cut into the rock, opened channels, and stored the water. And none of this was random. Every channel was calculated. Every system was placed with purpose. In Petra, water was gathered through the rock, carried forward, and distributed across the city, while Kaza, 40 meters of stone, one solid mass of rock. It was carved from the top down, because here, even a single mistake could not be undone. Al-Khazne was not only massive, it was built with near perfect proportions in 300 BC with nothing but intelligence, patience, and hands that knew how to command stone. Petra was at its height. Caravans passed through this narrow way. The road was in their hands, the water was in their hands. But Petra was not only trade. They turned the mountain slopes into terraces. They gathered the water, and in the desert they made the land speak. Nabataean pottery, so thin that held to the light it seemed almost translucent. Even the desert could hold that kind of grace. The Nabataeans wrote in letters of their own, and those letters did not remain in the desert. In AD 106, Rome took Petra, but it left the water system untouched, because if that system failed, the city would fail with it. Wadi Musa, the valley where Moses drew water from the rock, now a priest stood in that same valley, the same rock, the same water, but now it carried another meaning. The child's finger touched the fish. The children of Petra were now learning the sign. At the end of the day, the young man always closed his record the same way, by the grace of God, because faith was not outside their lives. The trade routes changed. Petra grew smaller, but the church did not empty. Trade faded, faith remained. But inside, there was still song. It struck the stone, multiplied, and lingered in the walls. Petra was shrinking. The caravans were fading away, but the prayer rising inside the church remained. And the sound struck the stone, spread through the room and returned. In Petra's church, the walls did more than rise. They carried the hymn as well. This structure was not built merely to stand. It carried sound as well. The spoken word, the prayer, the hymn, all of it multiplied inside and lingered in the walls. But those words were not only spoken. In Petra, they were carefully written, copied, and preserved. Because sound fades, writing remains. Then this faith passed to the children, from a priest to a child, line by line, voice to voice, in silence. Petra had lost its old crowds, power had faded, the noise had died away, but inside there was still prayer. The Nabataeans came, the Romans came, the Christians came, all of them passed. The stone remained, but inside that stone, each age left its mark. The words of Jesus began with one man, but they found an echo in stone, and in Petra that echo became prayer. The city fell silent. The people were gone, but some sounds remained inside the stone. And now, centuries later, we return to them. Today, you walk through the same passage, the same rock, the same path. And if you listen closely, you can still hear what remained inside the stone. Petra may look like a ruin today, but it did not leave behind stone alone. It left a trace, it left water, it left memory.